The governor of the Spanish Netherlands made a vow. As long as the siege of Ostend lasted, she would not change her shirt. Essentially, this meant that Infanta Isabella Clara Eugenia would not wash. Little did she know that the siege would last for 3 years. By the end of it, her shirt would take on a rich yellowish-gray hue. The beloved eldest daughter of Spanish King Philip II received a lavish wedding gift from him. At the very end of the 16th century, while engaged to Archduke Albert VII of Austria, Isabella became the ruler of Flanders, Artois, Hainaut, Luxembourg, and Cambrai. After their wedding, the newlyweds settled in Brussels, where they had 3 children, sons Philip and Albert, and a daughter, Anna Mauritia. Isabella was an impressive woman, a dark-eyed brunette with a proud bearing. It is said that she resembled her mother, the French Princess Elizabeth of Valois. Like many women from Spain, Isabella favored black dresses richly adorned with lace and embroidered with pearls. Her neck was always covered by a stiff, high collar. Naturally, the Infanta was also known for her deep religious devotion. So when the siege of Ostend began, Isabella took her vow very seriously. In the 16th century, vows meant a great deal. It was perfectly normal to publicly swear to observe a strict fast for a time, to abstain from marital duties until a promise was fulfilled, or to wear a nun's habit as a sign of penance. The spiritual side of life was an essential part of existence, and vows were part of that. No one would have dreamed of mocking Isabella's oath. After all, if the queen chose not to wash or change her shirt, that was her business. The Dutch city of Ostend, which sparked this whole story, was rebelling against Spanish rule. An earlier attempt to besiege it had been abandoned, but now the situation was critical. The operation was led by Isabella's husband, but the expectation of a quick resolution did not materialize. The food supplies in Ostend lasted a full 3 years of siege, and throughout those long months, while her husband conducted military operations, Isabella wore the same shirt she had during her vow. It's hard to imagine how the governor endured this vow. However, it's easy to envision the new color of her shirt. It still exists today and is known as Isabella color. There's even an Isabella coat color for horses and Isabella coloring for dogs. The hue is a grayish-brown, yellowish, pale brown shade. But beyond the brownish shirt, the Infanta suffered from the inability to wash properly. After all, she couldn't remove her clothing. Even the strongest, concentrated perfumes she used to mask the odor couldn't overpower the unpleasant scent emanating from her. It wasn't until 3 years later that the governor of the Netherlands was able to wash herself and change her shirt. However, the trend for Isabella color became popular among the people. Fabrics were specially dyed in a pale yellow hue. Noble women eagerly wore dresses in the style of Isabella. If the daughter of the Spanish king deemed it appropriate, who would want to be left behind? Even in her famous official portrait, the governor is dressed in her signature Isabella color. How whimsical fashion can be. After her husband's death, the Infanta took a new vow. She removed her expensive velvet and silk garments, permanently renounced her lavish pearl necklaces, and donned simple monastic clothing. In this coarse attire, Isabella Clara Eugenia lived until her death in the year 1633. The vow did not prohibit her from washing, but she no longer recognized luxury. Yes, she continued to manage the affairs of the Spanish Netherlands, but she led a very modest life. The color of Isabella's shirt was romantically described by her contemporary, the artist Guido Reni, as the color of grapes, the color of dusty sunlight, the color of crushed seashells. But in reality, it was simply dirt. An interesting point. Infanta Isabella briefly laid claim to the French throne. She was the niece of the last 3 kings from the Valois dynasty, and after their deaths, she became a fragment of the dynasty. However, just like the other Isabella, the wolf of the 14th century, she was denied the right to the crown of lilies, citing the Salic law as the reason.